What's up, everybody? This is Read the Bible with me, Stan Jr., and today we are looking at chapter 5 of Daniel. Chapter 5 is so much in here that we got to get to. Before we get to it, though, click that subscribe button and click that notification bell. Thank you, so you know every time I post a new video. Now, let's look. It says, King Belshazzar, now this is different from Belshazzar, which is Daniel's pagan name, right? So King Belshazzar made a great feast for 1,000 of his lords and drank wine in front of the 1,000. Now Belshazzar, who's the son of Nebuchadnezzar, when he tasted the wine, commanded that the vessels of gold and silver that Nebuchadnezzar, his father, had taken out of the temple in Jerusalem be brought, that the king and his lords and his wives and his concubine might drink from them. Then they brought the golden vessels that had been taken out of the temple, the house of God in Jerusalem, and the king and his lords, his wives, and his concubines drank from them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and silver and bronze and iron and wood and stone. Immediately, the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall the king's palaces, opposite of the lampstand. And the king saw the hand as it wrote. Then the king's color changed, and his thoughts alarmed him. His limbs gave away, and his knees knocked. Together the king called loudly to bring the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the astrologers. The king declared to the wise men of Babylon, whoever reads this writing and shows me its interpretation shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold around his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then all the king's wise men came in, but they could not read the writing or make known to the king the interpretation. Then the king Belshazzar was greatly alarmed, and his color changed again, and his lords were perplexed. Then the queen, because of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banqueting hall. The queen declared, O king, live forever. Let not your thoughts alarm you or your color change. There is a man in your kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. In the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom like the wisdom of the gods were found in him. The king Nebuchadnezzar, your father the king, made him chief of the magicians, enchanters, the Chaldeans, and astrologers, because an excellent spirit, knowledge, and understanding to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve problems were found in this Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Then Daniel was brought in before the king, and the king answered and said to Daniel, You are the Daniel, one of the exiles of Judah. I have heard of you that the spirit of the gods is in you, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom are found in you. Now the wise men, the enchanters, have been brought in before me to read this writing and make known to me its interpretation. But they could not show the interpretation of the matter. But I have heard that you can give interpretations and solve problems. Now, if you can read the writing and make known to me its interpretation, you shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold around your neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let your gifts for yourself and give. He said, Daniel answered and said before the king, Let your gifts be for yourself, and give your rewards to another. Nevertheless, I will read the writing to the king and make known to him the interpretation. Verse 18 says, O king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father kingship and greatness and glory and majesty. And because of the greatness that he gave him, all peoples, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him. Whom he would, he killed, and whom he would, he kept alive, and whom he would, he raised up, and whom he would, he humbled. But when his heart was lifted up, and his spirit was hardened, so that he dealt proudly, he was brought down from his kingly throne, and his glory was taken from him. He was driven from among the children of mankind, and his mind was made like that of a beast, and his dwelling was with the wild donkeys. He was fed grass like an ox, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, until he knew that the Most High God rules the kingdom of mankind and sets over it whom he will. And you, his son Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all of this. You knew all of this, and you still aren't humble. You saw what happened to your father, and you are still not humble. But you have lifted up yourself against the Lord of heaven, and the vessels of his house have been brought in before you. And you and the lords, your wives, and your concubine have drunk wine from them. And you have praised the gods of silver and gold and bronze and iron and wood and stone, which do not see nor hear or know, but the God of whose hand is your breath. And those are all your ways, and you have not honored. Then from his presence the hand was sent, and the writing was inscribed. And this is the writing that was inscribed: Mene, Mene, Tekel, and Parsin. This is the interpretation of the matter. Mene, God has numbered the days of your kingdom and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed in your balances and found wanting. Perez, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then Belshazzar gave the command, and Daniel was clothed with purple, and a chain of gold was put around his neck. And the proclamation was made about him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. That very night, Belshazzar, the Chaldean king, was killed, and Darius the Median received the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So we see that Daniel, what I take from Daniel, the book of Daniel, so far as how to manage your gift. I mean, God has given everyone a gift, right? And you've got to learn how to manage that gift. Number one, we notice that Daniel gives glory to God for his gift. He doesn't just go giving his gift out to everybody. First, he gives glory to God. He says, God, I thank you for this gift that I have, because this gift keeps giving him promoted in life. And so I think for us, what I do in the morning is I say, Lord, I present my body as a living sacrifice to you. First thing I say, because I'm trying to say, Lord, this life is not my own. This life is yours. I give my life to you, and everybody else can have the seconds. Everybody else can have the leftovers of my life. I want to give God the first of my life. And that's what we should do every morning. Just say, Lord, I give my life to you, Lord, because I want you to be pleased first. I want you to have priority. Before I get on TikTok, before I get on Snapchat, before I get on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you get on in the morning, before I open my phone up, I want to present my body to the Lord first. And that pleases him, I promise you. So today, tomorrow we'll be looking at chapter 6 of Daniel. Chapter 6 of Daniel, and I'm so excited because we're now talking about Daniel's in the lion's den. I can't wait. Next time you see me, we'll be reading that. I love you. I pray for you. Subscribe and click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon, okay? Peace.